We welcome you to this Ash Wednesday worship experience as we enter into our Lenten journey. Let us attend to the worship of God. For just such a time as this, we were fashioned from dirt into the image of God, loving, grace-giving, and wise. We are created to be the hands, hearts, and feet of divinity. We gather on this Ash Wednesday not because we must, not to puff ourselves up, but to start out on the trail of the cross. Before the Alleluias of Easter comes the dusty road, the betrayal, the cross, the death. Before a holy resurrection, we gather in Lent, eyes and imaginations turned toward the cross. And as we turn toward the cross, we keep silence. Join me now in prayer. O source of life and love, torn by desires to sit back and enjoy the beauty of the world, to savor the blue skies and gentle days, and by desires to recast the world and to fight its evil, to save the world, torn by all those things that hurt and confuse and make no sense amid beauty, yet supported by all those things that heal and hold us, smiles, kisses, mountain vistas, and gentle waves, warm words. We live in mystery. We live torn apart at times. So much glory, so much pain. We live in faith. Faith in ourselves and each other. Faith that can create bonds of the Spirit that proclaim we are not alone. We have much health within us. We can live through the heartache to new life. So, for the grace of the world and all the tumble to, this day we give you our heartfelt thanks. Amen.
from the second chapter of the book of Genesis, verses 7 and 15. Then God fashioned an earth creature out of the clay of the earth and blew into its nostrils the breath of life. And the earth creature became a living being. Then God took the earth creature and settled it into the Garden of Eden so that it might cultivate and care for the land. And our gospel lesson is from the second chapter of Mark, verses 18 through 22. Now John's disciples and the Pharisees were fasting, and the people came to Jesus. Why do John's disciples and the disciples of the Pharisees fast, but your disciples do not fast? Jesus said to them, the wedding guests cannot fast while the bridegroom is with them, can they? As long as they have the bridegroom with them, they cannot fast. The days will come when the bridegroom is taken away from them, and then they will fast on that day. No one sews a piece of unshrunk cloth on an old cloak, otherwise the patch pulls away from it. The new from the old, and a worse tear is made. And no one puts new wine into old wineskins. Otherwise, the wine will burst the skins, and the wine is lost, and so are the skins. But one puts new wine into fresh wineskins. A few weeks ago, I was on a video call with a bunch of women from around the country. We can do that now. Spending time with an Episcopalian priest and author, Barbara Brown Taylor. After responding to the question, how is it with your soul? She turned to the screen and looked at us and asked us, what is saving your life now? Is it Netflix or macaroni and cheese? Is it a warm fire on a cold day? Is it knowing you or your loved one have received the vaccine? What is your promise for today? And what is it you're being saved from? Those are such basic and such hard questions. How is it with your soul? And what are you being saved from? On the video call, we were tasked with bringing dirt with us. So when I made these little baggies of ashes that you now have, I thought of bringing in a bit of dirt to that video call. It's kind of the same thing, right? So if you have your little bag of ashes, look at them. Ashes are another form of dirt. Ashes become the dirt as wood is burned, and following the burning, they go back into the dirt. Even these ashes that you mark yourself with tonight, later on you'll wash them off, and they'll go out with the water and return to the dirt. Or the extras will go into the trash, into a landfill, and eventually become dirt. And by the way, I paid a little extra for these little bags. They are biodegradable, so they too will become dirt. So look at your ashes, your dirt. As we read here from Genesis, then God fashioned an earth creature out of the clay of the earth, a dirtling from the dirt. And God settled the dirtling in the garden so that the dirtling might cultivate and care for the land. A dirtling from dirt so that the dirtling might care for the dirt. Remember, you are dust, and to dust you will return. Remember that you are a dirtling, sent to care for the dirt, and to dirt you will return. So we pause on Ash Wednesday and we give thanks for the ashes, which mark our recognition that we are earthly creatures. They remind us of who we are and what we're made of. We are not God. We are dust. We are dirt. But we are also much, much more, because that God created us in the very image of God's self. We are created from dirt, but we have life breathed into us. We have this gift of life, a beautiful image of God life, but no mistaking, it is to dust, to the dirt, we will return. Barbara Brown Taylor again looked us in the eye, each of us on the video call, and said, "What does your dirt have to say to you?" Again, our ashes. How do these ashes speak to you? Why did you come here tonight in person or on the screen? What wisdom do we have to learn? What does the dirt have to say to you? Here was my written piece of learning from my dirt to me. I am dirt. You cannot leave me. Wherever you go, I am there. Florida dirt is dirt across the world, and all the dirt is stardust. I raised you, and I raised your children. And you can rest and you can work, and I will be here, for you cannot get away from me. I grew you, and you flowered in me. You multiplied your color. Now tell others to take off their shoes and put their feet on me and wriggle their toes and put their forehead to me as they bow to the earth, because I am dirt and I am eternal. I do not go away. You don't really ever clean me away. You just move me around. Dirt, ashes, stardust, ever old, always new. Amen. You're now invited to take your ashes and to open them up. And Pastor Jeffrey will lead us in a prayer. If you have your ashes at home in a baggie, you're right with us. If you don't, you can use what you have. You can use some dirt from a plant. You can use some cinnamon if you'd like. But we will be marking ourselves at the end of our prayer. And you can mark yourself on your forehead. You can mark yourself on your hand. If you are with someone in your COVID little pod, you can mark each other with the sign of the cross.
On your worship sheet, you will find a confessional prayer that is based on Daniel's prophecy, chapter 10. And at the conclusion of this prayer, you are invited to carry on with the imposition of ashes upon your forehead or upon your hand. Will you please join me in this confessional prayer? I turn my attention to God and invite God's presence. I see the great mystery of prayer. Some abase their body. I use my forehead as a canvas, so God and people can see I am starting the journey. I have sinned. I have done unwell to myself, to those I love, to those I do not know and matter. I have rebelled against anything holding anything more over me, but I've also longed to be held and wished not everything fell to me and my shoulders. So this Lent, I invite you, God, to reign over me. I want to be marked by faith. From dust you have come, and unto dust you shall return.
and now marked. We turn our face toward the cross. In Lent, we journey with Jesus as disciples, with disciples. We head together to Jerusalem. The Lord be with you.